Hey guys, welcome back. So today we are cleaning out my blushes. Now this I think is going to be a little bit easier because I don't hoard blushes like I do other makeup products. So this should be too easy. Looking just in general at a glance at all of these, I know which ones probably need to be thrown out. So it's just a matter of swatching to see if there are any others that I am definitely not aware of. So we're gonna start from the back and work our way forward. So we're gonna start off with this Too Faced blush. This is one of the Love Flush blushes in Baby Love. This has not been touched at all. Come on. Yeah, this hasn't even been swatched. I want to say it's still good. It doesn't smell off at all, so I'm gonna say this is still good. I'm probably gonna put this into a donate and or family friends pile. I wouldn't give it to you guys because it doesn't have its original packaging anymore, but I'm definitely gonna give this away to friends and family since I just obviously am not using it. Blushes are actually one of the few things that I have a pretty good split of drugstore versus high-end. These Makeup Revolution blushes I really like a lot. And I actually do want to keep this. I wear this a lot in the summer, and I also wear it as kind of a blush topper. This is the Makeup Revolution Triple Baked Blusher in Peachy Pink Kisses. I just want to touch it and see how it feels, because if it doesn't feel right, it feels still okay. But it's not really swatching up to par, so I'm actually going to go ahead and part with this. Because if it's not swatching the way it used to be a very pigmented blush, and it's not doing that right now. It looks more like a highlighter. It just hasn't retained its intensity, so I'm going to go ahead and throw that out. Next, we have the 3 shades of the Burt's Bees blushes. All 3 of these are relatively new, so they shouldn't need to be decluttered, but I just want to show you the colors I do have. I have the shade Toasted Cinnamon, and by the way, I fully credit Kathleen Lights with making me buy these, by the way. These are really, really nice blushes from the drugstore. They are kind of on the more expensive side, but I do like them a lot. So that's Toasted Cinnamon. We have Shy Pink, and I also really do like the packaging on these as well. These are really nice, really pigmented blushes, especially for a drugstore formulation. And this last one here is Bare Peach, which I would say of the 2 of these, this is the one I use the most. Or of the 3 of these, I use the Bare Peach. Okay, this is a blush that I think it's just finally time to part with. This is the Soap & Glory Love at First blush. It's a really nice blush from the drugstore, again, on the more expensive side of things. But I've just had this for so long. I think I've had this for about 5 years now, 4 or 5 years. It's time to go. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this guy out. The L'Oreal True Match blush in C12 Baby Blossom. This I really like a lot. This is my match shade from L'Oreal. This still swatches fine, but to be honest, this isn't a very pigmented blush. Let me try again just to see. I mean, to be fair, I do like having some more subtle blush colors. So I'm going to put this to the side. I'm going to make up my mind about it, and I'll come back to it at the end. I have 2 of these, and these are relatively newer to my collection. These are repurchases, so these will be staying. These are the L'Oreal Visible Lift cream blushes in 705 Nude Lift, which looks like this, and it's really pretty, really nice subtle cream blushes. And this one is in the shade Coral Lift. I really like these. They blend out really nicely, so I am holding on to both of those. Okay, the Bare Minerals Gen Nude blush in the shade That Peach, though. This is probably not the best shade for someone with fairer skin. I know that there are better ones out there, but I do want to hold on to this just because it's a really nice soft pink. So keeping that. Plus it's newer. Next we have the Ciate blush, which these are actually really great. This one's in the shade Summer Love. Ooh, I almost threw that on the ground. In the shade Summer Love. That's what this looks like in here. It still feels good. No weird smell to it. And it still swatches beautifully. Keeping. This Becca one, it might be time to go. I've had this for a very long time. This is good for, oh my God, this is only good for 6 months. Ooh, that, ouch. This is the Mineral Blush in Flower Child. I do love this blush, but now realizing that it's only good for 6 months. I've had this for about 4 years. So let me go ahead and actually swatch this one right here. I mean, it swatches fine, but the fact that it's now 4 years old and it's 3.5 years past its prime, and it doesn't necessarily feel the best. I mean, it swatches fine, but I'm not going to trust that far beyond its expiration date, so this guy's going to go. The Buxom Wanderlust blush in Havana. This is a recent purchase. It's staying. I like this a lot. These are some really great blushes. I'd love to purchase some more shades in the collection because this is just such a beautiful shade. I think the rest were sold out when I was trying to buy them. So hopefully in the near future, I'll be able to grab some more shades. Fingers crossed. Let me also go ahead and clean off my arm here. Let's move on to the Marc Jacobs one I have here. This is the Air Blush in Kink and Kisses. This is a really nice blush, and what's the expiration on this? 12 months. I think I've had this much longer than 12 months. So let's go ahead and touch this, see how it feels. It still feels good. Still swatches perfectly if my finger wasn't soaking wet. Hold on. Yeah. My finger wasn't soaking wet. It still works fine. I'm going to put this in the middle and make a decision like the L'Oreal True Blush. Just because I really do like that blush, and I really only pull it out for special occasions. I don't know. Just knock it off. I don't know why, but I do. These are only good for 12 months, and these are about 5 years old. I don't even know if they still make these. These are the In-Stain Blushes by The Balm. These are good for 12 months, and like I said, they're about 4 or 5 years old at this point. I have the shade Houndstooth, which is this really pretty deep berry. Oh, this is not wanting to like... Yeah, this is not pigmented at all. These have got to get tossed. And this one was the shade Argyle, which is definitely more of like a bubblegummy pink. That one still swatches fine, but again, 5 years old with a 1-year expiration from being used, and those have been used. I'm not risking that. The 2 Hourglass blushes, I have the shade Mood Exposure. Ooh, these just feel gorgeous. And this one is the shade Ethereal Glow. This is definitely a lighter one. This one almost looks white on my finger, but it's actually this like really pretty kind of pale pinky glow to it. It's really unique. I don't have other shades like this in the collection, so I am going to keep both. These are still good. The Lorac blushes, I have 3 of them here, and I do love all 3 of these. I have had these for quite some time. I don't know exactly how long. I have the shade Aura, which is like a deep plum. I have, I think this is Tinge. Yep, Tinge, which is actually like my favorite blush of all time. And Prism, which is just a little bit more of a nude pop. But to be honest, Tinge is my most used of these 3. I'm actually going to keep all 3 of these. And in return, I am going to declutter the L'Oreal one because it's pretty similar to Tinge. So I'm going to get rid of this and do Tinge. Okay. The Milani blushes. One of these is a new purchase. This one I just recently picked up. This is Berry Amore. This one will get to stay because I literally just picked it up the other day. Then we have Rosa Romantica, which this is just kind of like a nice, pretty light pink. Oh no, this is the one that's basically like a highlighter, isn't it? This is one where, yeah, this is my one where I go, this isn't really a blush. This is more like a highlighter. So it switches between being in my blush drawer and being in my highlight drawer. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in the highlight drawer and I'm going to keep it. Then we have Bella Bellini. This is like the pale, pretty pinky one. Yeah, there we go. That's pink. And then the ever famous Luminoso. This one feels a little rough, but it still swatches fine. How old is this? How long is this good for? This is good for, these are good for quite some time, so I'm keeping those. I'm just gonna move the Rosa Romantica to my highlight drawer instead, so it's where it belongs. The Laura Geller Blush and Brightens. This one's in the shade Honeysuckle, which still looks okay. And then this one's the shade Sunswept. I bought these during the 21 Days of Beauty when they were like buy one get one 50% off. If I'm gonna be honest, Sunswept is definitely a little bit too dark for me to pull off. It's almost more like a bronzer, but it's too pink when I wear it as a bronzer, so I'm gonna get rid of this one. Since this is the older packaging, I believe. One of these is the old packaging. And I think it might be this one, so I'm gonna get rid of this and keep Honeysuckle. Moving on to my 3 LA Girl blushes, which don't look all that different from one another when you look at them side by side. I have the shade Just Bare, which these are still good to go. These are good for 3 years, so I'm not getting rid of these, but I just wanna swatch them so you guys can see. So this is Just Bare. This one is Just Glowing. And this one is Just Playful. See, a nude, a peach, a pink. So I'm keeping these guys. I like them a lot. They're a good drugstore blush for an affordable price. You know, when you compare them to, say, the Milani blushes, which are definitely on the more expensive side of things. The Wet n Wild, this hasn't even been opened. This is the Wet n Wild Color Icon in Keep It Peachy. I think I'm gonna keep this because I don't have a Wet n Wild blush. I used to have a ton of them ages ago, and I think I did this as a repurchase for like makeup I used to wear or own or whatever tag that I keep meaning to do. So this one's in the shade Keep It Peachy. Woohoo! Well, I can throw that out. But here's what this one looks like. That's pretty, actually. Then we have 6 of these Maybellines, which I don't know why. I just went ham the other day and purchased them up. So these are all new. They're not going anywhere. I have the shade, this one hasn't even been opened. This one's in the shade Mauve. Then we have Peach, which is this guy. We have Buff. Nude. That's a pretty pinky nude. Then we have Rose. And Coral. So, like I said, these are all relatively new within the past couple weeks, so keeping them. This is the big kahuna, guys. This is like the moment of I can't bring myself to do it. This looks so beat up now. These are my Clinique Cheek Pops, and these are hands down my all-time favorite blushes that you can buy out there in the makeup world. I love these. These are amazing. It would break my heart to get rid of one of these without having a backup already purchased, which I don't have any backups. But we have the shade Berry Pop, which this is just such a pretty, vibrant, berry pink shade. I mean, look at that. Okay, I'm just swatching these. I can't. This one's Heather Pop. This was the first one I purchased. This is the one I used to wear, like, all the time. Ooh. Okay, maybe Heather Pop needs to go because that is, like, look at the pigmentation difference. Yeah, okay, Heather Pop might have to get thrown out. Oh, this is gonna get real sad. We have Pink Honey Pop, which is kind of like a peachy pop color. This one should be, yeah, that one's, this, it doesn't look like much, but it was never really a pigmented blush to begin with. It's very subtle, that staying. Then we have Melon Pop. This is just like a really nice, like pale, peachy, corally kind of color almost. This one still swatches fine. True to color, I should say. Then we have Black Honey Pop. This is one of the plums that I actually use in my collection. Let's swatch you. How do you still look? Looks good. And then we have the holy grail of them, Nude Pop, which doesn't even have a dang design left on it anymore. Okay, I'll go ahead and swatch this on this hand, on this finger I should say, and I'll swatch it right here. I know this is still performing fine because I still use it, so sorry to Heather Pop, but to be fair, that was one that I had for like a good year before I got the rest of these. So it doesn't surprise me that that would be the one that's gone bad at this point. So it's sad to see you go, Heather Pop, but maybe in the future I'll be able to repurchase you. It's still available to purchase. All of these shades are, I think. So it's not the end of the world. These are going to be hard as well because actually some of these are brand new. Like I just opened them a week and a half ago. So these probably aren't really going anywhere. So we have the shade Growth Flirt, which these are from the spring collection. I just finally got my hands on them now. So Growth Spurt is staying. This is called Yes, She Did. This is also staying. Not that one. No Vacancy. I don't know. I don't think this is one I had before. This is a new one. No Vacancy is a new one. This is like a matte coral. It's very vibrant. Then we have Count Me In. It's like a really pretty nude. Tuned In. Really vibrant pink. And then we have Get Laid, L-E-I-D. Nice peachy orange. Okay, so those are okay. These are the three I already had, and if I'm being honest, I will be very surprised if these are still okay. This is the shade Holiday, and I know these are the older ones because at one point I had these labeled like stacked like this in the drawer. So there's some of my eyeshadows that are the same way. This is the shade Holiday, which still feels okay. No, not really. I mean, it still swatches okay, but it's really stiff. Like, it's not really bouncy in here. I have to really press to make an indentation. And it's not really blending well. I mean, it swatches still great. Let me see how the other ones feel, because if they're all going to feel that way, then I might toss them all. This is the shade Prenup. See, this one feels complete. Oh, no, this one's a goner. This is balling up when I dip my fingers into it, which is so sad. Plus, it's not swatching right. Prenup can definitely get tossed. And then we have the shade Thames, which this one feels the best out of all three. So Thames and Holiday I will keep, and I'll just get rid of Prenup. Plus, that ends me with 8. That makes me feel happy. Okay, guys, so now what I am going to do is I am going to go ahead and pull the drawer out that these were originally in and reorganize them, and I'll be back in just a second. Okay guys, so this is the drawer that these were being kept in. I wonder if I can zoom out a little bit further. Not really. So there's 2 drawers over here and 2 drawers here that all of these blushes were originally in. I've only decluttered 2, 5, 7, I decluttered 10 blushes out of this collection just based on expiration alone, and obviously I've moved that one blush to the highlight drawer. So let's go ahead and organize these. So I am deciding to keep the Marc Jacobs blush, by the way, and that guy will just stand up right here. All the high-end blushes are right in here. Hourglass, not Buxom, Hourglass, Clinique, Ciate. Would the Ciate fit better over here? Yes, Ciate fits better there. And then Buxom, La Roque, Bare Minerals, Laura Geller, Marc Jacobs. Now onto the drugstore ones, and this will be left open as the testing section for both my blushes and the bronzers that are kept here in the back. Perfect. Spare tester drawer still open. Okay, guys, so that's it. Getting rid of 10, keeping 41, which probably isn't the best, but let's just see how bad that is. 10 divided by 51. It's about 20%. I guess that could be worse, but at least I cleansed some of them because this used to take up all 4 of these spots, and that's now saved quite a bit of space, so there's the upside. So I'm thinking maybe now I'll go ahead and just do bronzers. I don't know if I'll keep this in the same video. I might do a separate one. But that is it for this one, guys. I hope you guys are enjoying watching me go through and clean out some expired makeup. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.